The gaming world just had a massive asteroid hit and total destruction feels like it's ensuing. This is following Doug Bowser stepping down at Nintendo and being replaced by Devin Pritchard. We have Phil Spencer, heavy quotes, retiring, and Sarah Bond just leaving on her own accord, and Matt Booty promoted as Microsoft AI executive Asha Sharma is named the new Xbox boss. This is groundbreaking. Ripple effect will be felt throughout the entire gaming industry for years, if not decades to come, for the decision that just got made today. This is crazy. Spencer's run with Xbox ends just months shy of the brand's 25th anniversary, which again lends more credence to the he didn't retire, he was forced out. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer, who has been at Microsoft since he joined as an intern in 1988 and with Xbox since the software giant launched its first console in 2001, is retiring. Now, I want everyone to remember, before we even go on to his replacement, how long and how much passion this guy had for not just Microsoft as a brand, but the Xbox platform being developed and brought into what it is today. From 1988, he's retiring. Sources familiar with the matter who are not authorized to speak publicly confirmed to IGN. Spencer's retirement is effective on Monday, February 23rd. Meanwhile, Xbox president Sarah Bond, actually, this is where the juicy drama is with the whole situation. Long thought by many, including myself, by the way, not that I agreed with it, but thought this was happening, both inside and outside of Microsoft, to be Spencer's heir apparent, just decided to resign. If you believe this, I got a bridge to sell you, by the way. The new CEO of Microsoft Gaming will be Asha Sharma, currently the president of Microsoft's core AI product. Finally, Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty is being promoted to Chief Content Officer and will work closely with Sharma. And I have to imagine this is a decision by Microsoft to put someone who knows something about video games to have a voice in the ear of someone like Asha Sharma, who doesn't even fucking know what a video game is, that just got put in charge of one of the largest video game organizations on planet Earth. Please, someone make it make sense. I want to thank Phil for his extraordinary leadership and partnership. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said in an email sent to Microsoft staff, over 38 years at Microsoft, including 12 years leading gaming, Phil helped transform what we do and how we do it. Full emails from Nadella, Spencer, Sharma, and Booty are below. We're not going to read through all these, but there's a lot of them. Spencer, in his email to Microsoft, said in part, last fall, I shared with Satya that I was thinking of stepping back. X to doubt, by the way, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but massive X to doubt on that. And starting the next chapter of my life. From that moment, we aligned on approaching this transition with intention, ensuring stability, and strengthening the foundation we've built. Xbox has always been more than a business. It's a vibrant community of players, creators, and teams, which, you know what, I'd actually agree. This is what Xbox was founded upon, creating a unique community in gaming that was different than what existed in the past. That all has been shot to shit in the past 5 to 10 years, but at one time, it did exist. Who cared deeply about what we build and how we build it. And it deserves thoughtful, deliberate plan for the road ahead. Today marks an exciting new chapter for Microsoft Gaming as Asha Sharma, who nobody's heard of before, steps into the role of CEO. In case you're wondering, this Asha Sharma character, previous roles include Instacart and Microsoft AI. Sharma is a former VP of Product and Engineering at Meta, former Instacart COO, who is also a board member of the Home Depot. This reminds me of how Sarah Bond was on the board of Tyson Foods. Last year, she announced she was going to that, and everyone's like, the fuck does that have to do with gaming? These people don't care about gaming. They are here for the paycheck and to push an agenda. Gaming isn't even on the checklist of what they do. She joined Microsoft in 2024. She hasn't even been there for a full 2 years because 2026 just started. In her email to Microsoft staff, she wrote, in part, my first job is simple. Figure out what these controllers do. Oh, wait, no. Understand what makes this work and protect it. How? Oh, my God. Why would you not hire someone that understands the work first? That starts with 3 commitments. First, great games. How the fuck do you know what a good game is? Like straight up. This sounds like the whole better. What is better? Define what better is, because better could be an ideology. And if it's an ideology, that means it's better for you and what your agenda is that you're pushing. It doesn't mean it's actually a good game, though. Everything begins here. We must have great games. Again, use the word great twice in the first 2 sentences. Holy shit. Beloved by players before we do anything. Unforgettable characters. Well, we got a lot of those. That doesn't necessarily make them great characters. Stories that make us feel. Innovative gameplay and creative excellence. This is so fucking generic. Oh my God. This is the same thing as the Pritchard from Nintendo. We will empower our studios, invest in iconic franchises, and back bold new ideas. What do you mean by bold new ideas? Is that code for DEI? We will take risks. We will enter new categories and markets where we can add real value. Again, this is just corpo speak. Nothing means anything here. I promoted Matt Booty in honor of this commitment. Again, so all this happened all at the same time. So hysterically, like I said, this Asha chick, she got put into the head spot of Xbox, knowing fuck all about gaming. Her first move, let's promote Matt Booty to help me figure out what the fuck the gaming division is. There's so many problems that everybody who has a passion and care for gaming has to have about this. There's no way you could look at the situation and be like, yeah, let's give her a chance. I'm sure she'll do her best and do. No, fuck that. That's how we ended up in this position in the first place. No, sorry. No, you're going to have to prove it. No one's going to give you the time of day or benefit of the doubt anymore. He understands the craft and challenges, building great games, and has led teams that deliver award-winning work. I mean, you're promoting Matt Booty with the past couple years that Xbox Game Studios have had. It almost tells me that you allow people to fail upwards. Like, there's nothing. How could you have performed worse? Like, full stop. Everything Xbox has been doing across the board, whether it be the game studios, the acquisitions, Game Pass itself, has been floundering, failing, losing money, in deep in the red everywhere. And you're going to promote this guy through all that because you know fuck all about what you're doing. What a shit show this is. Second, the return of Xbox. We will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players. Okay, I actually love hearing that, but talk is cheap. Those who have invested with us for the past 25 years, and to the developers who build the expansive universes and experiences that are embraced by players across the world. We will celebrate our roots with a renewed commitment to Xbox, starting with console, which has shaped who we are. It connects us to the players and fans who invest in Xbox and to the developers who build ambitious experiences for it. Okay, so this is actually the first time she says something where I'm like, this has some tangible value to me. This tells me that they want to invest and make the console the platform that people want to purchase and have unique IPs on it that will only be available there. Because the Xbox Everywhere strategy was the dumbest fucking thing they could have ever done. And oh, by the way, I'm on the record for calling that like a decade ago when they were doing that. Like, this was the dumbest move. You have no brand loyalty if you put your games on everything. No one has a reason to ever invest in your platforms or consoles again if you're doing that. So it sounds like she at least understands that. Gaming now lives across devices, not within the limits of any single... Oh, never mind. You know what? Everything I just said, I take it back. As we expand across PC, okay. She's doing the same fucking thing they were doing before her. I can't with these people. Third, future of play. We are witnessing a reinvention of play. To meet the moment, we will invent new business models and new ways to play by leading into... Oh my God. Why are they so afraid to go back to what worked? What made Xbox great? Why are they so afraid of that? I'll tell you why. because what made Xbox great did not provide them monthly revenue, recurring income, Game Pass, renting games. They brought this chick in here to push the AI behind the scenes and find a way to make Game Pass double, triple, quadruple in value. Because at the end of the day, Microsoft will ride that horse into the ground and then start digging, because they are not going to give up on Game Pass no matter what. As monetization and AI evolve and influence this future, we will not chase short-term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. Prove it. Games are and always will be art, crafted by humans and created with the most innovative technology provided by us. What if AI is part of the innovative technology? That's like saying we're not using AI, goes to use Photoshop. It's like, you do realize that that's just a remedial version of artificial intelligence. You're just not calling it that. Booty sent his email, Microsoft staff, looking forward. Okay, great. I'm not going to read all this stuff, but Spencer was named head of Xbox in March 2014. It's been going there for a while. Spencer's time running Xbox will perhaps be remembered for Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard King in 2022. And there are so many questions still surrounding how this even happened, especially with the Epstein and Bobby Kotick stuff that came up that they're trying really hard to bury. And oh, by the way, Epstein was really tight with Bill Gates. And you notice how they keep trying to bury all that stuff too. And they're in connection to the background that they do not want to get out there with that whole situation. Took almost 2 years to achieve regulatory approval, aka greasing the palms of regulators. Spencer began trying to solve for Xbox's dearth of first-party games in 2018 when the first wave of studio acquisitions occurred. Prior to the Activision deal, Spencer's biggest move came with the $7.5 billion acquisition of ZeniMax, which, I could almost justify the value of that with Bethesda, with the properties that Bethesda had, but miss me with Activision Blizzard King being valued at almost $70 billion. That's what, nearly 10 times the value of Bethesda for maybe at the time games that were making a lot of money. But even back then I was saying there's no promise of guaranteed future income from these games. Just because they're popular right now doesn't mean that you're going to make an infinite wealth of recurring revenue for forever. But this move struck me as trying to cover his ass and make it look like they were making more money than they actually were by acquiring as many companies as they could for Xbox currently right now. Grimalda says, hasn't made a good game in a decade, destroys every one of their franchises, puts Halo on PlayStation, CEO retires, gets replaced by an Indian. The Xbox fall off must be studied. This is Phil Spencer. It's rare in life to know when a chapter is closing, but after 38 years at Microsoft, that moment has arrived for me. I've made this, again, X'd it out that he made the decision to retire and begin the next chapter of his life. It's a milestone that's given me a chance to reflect on an incredible journey. I've been fortunate enough to share it with so many of you. And again, I don't have any personal issues with Phil Spencer. I think he did an amazing thing, especially at the advent of the Xbox and being a part of the brand for so long. But he rode this ship into the bottom of the ocean. Unfortunately, there was an amazing time. This right now is far, it's too far gone at this point. Endymion, nobody. Phil Spencer, my job here is done. But you didn't do anything. That is the current situation with Xbox. I have many concerns for the future of it. This is Destin saying, here's what Phil Spencer told me about retirement when I asked him on January 27th, 2025. He would announce his retirement 1 year later.
Last one for you. I'm looking at the timeline over the next 10 years for Xbox and realizing you'll be at retirement age in the United States in about the next 10 years. So what do you hope Xbox becomes over that period of time?
He's like, I don't give a shit. I'll be gone.
the thing that drives me, there's two things that really drive me. One is more industry, where I have a fundamental belief that gaming is a good thing for the planet, that people coming together with interactive entertainment, talking about the stories that are told, collaborating, cooperating in games. I mentioned I'm playing through Gears and just what an awesome time it is. Some of my best friendships have been built that way. So I want gaming to continue to grow because I do think it's just a fundamentally important part of entertainment. I think it's better than any other form of entertainment. Yes, I'm biased, but I just love the way it builds community and bring things together. There's always things we should be careful of as an industry and how we learn, but I have a fundamental belief there. So then when I go to Xbox, I want us to be part of that. I don't want us to fall into, we do tomorrow what we did yesterday because it's what we've always done. I don't want us to be afraid to innovate. Some of the things will work great, some of them won't.
My concern with the word innovate that these people are starting to use is it's another code word for injecting wokeism and DEI into games. Oh, we're going to innovate. We're going to present new experiences. Like, no, actually, what would be innovative would be to get away from what the shit you're doing is and go back to the original stuff. That would actually be innovative because that would be new and different from the direction the game industry has been going for the better part of the past decade.
But let's stay nimble, whether it was back compat, which we weren't supposed to do because it was going to hurt game sales on the next gen, whether, it's even like going back to live, but I think about whether it's Game Pass and whether that's a good thing. I remember the debates around whether we should allow free to play on console and should subsidized hardware have free games. And that'll be but like, let's make sure that we stay as a team that's willing to take risks, learn from the things that work and from the things that don't work. And that our teams feel like they can take those risks and be rewarded. We're not perfect there. But it's something I aspire for with the teams. And like, if I could enable anything in my time here, it would be that we continue to innovate, not be defined by what was yesterday, but looking forward to what creators and players want tomorrow.
Bill,
which they have not been doing. That's a lot of corpo speak. He lost that. They used to do that.
that was a really great answer. Thank
Wow. No, it wasn't.
you.
Didn't think about it before. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking at the timeline, realizing that
Like, what's Dustin going to say to him? Oh, that was a very generic corpo answer. Can you be real with me? That's what I would have said to him.
Shuhei Yoshida just retired, and yeah, maybe it's
Good friend of mine. Congrats to him. Like his role in this industry, Ted Price.
yeah, Ted Price.
I
Also.
I exchanged some mail with Ted. We did Sunset Overdrive with him in the role that he's played with independent developers. David Haddad from Warner Brothers. Like it's it's always a turnover, but it's good. With every move on for any of us, it means more new voices and new perspectives in this industry. And I think it can continue to evolve and grow.
I would almost argue that the new voices in the industry is actually a net negative. We need the old guard voices to come back to the industry to bring back what gaming was all about originally. I've noticed a sincere lack of any conversation about that. Anyone that gets hired these days is always pushing the corporate agenda of, oh, we're going to look for more better ways to play and make great game experiences and innovate in new directions and challenge our players and see bold new experiences. It's like, fuck that. Bring back the chicks in bikinis with bouncing tits. What's wrong with that stuff? Why can't games be that? And it doesn't all, by the way, because I know people are going to clip that and be like, that's all he wants. It doesn't always have to be that. But the fact that they got away from that goes to show that they want nothing to do with anything being based. At the end of the day, it's pushing an agenda. That's what these people are there for. It drives me insane. Not because they shouldn't be allowed to do it, but because if they're doing that, they're going to tank the entire industry. And some people might be fine with that, but there's no guarantee of it recovering from that if it keeps going down this direction. And it's really, really scary. I don't think people realize just how bad it is right now. The gaming industry is this is the worst in corporate the gaming industry has been maybe since the 80s. It's really bad, at least in the West. It's really, really bad right now. And we got people like Phil Spencer and Microsoft's direction to thank for that. So we'll see where it goes from here. But for now, I'll leave that there. We need the old guard to come out of retirement and make sure they properly train replacements from within. Stop hiring outsiders. I mean, the concern I have is it doesn't necessarily have to be the old guard. There are many based younger people these days that want games to go back to being based. The problem is the nepotism and consistent hiring of like-minded people in the industry, of a cult-like mindset, that if you do not fit the exact thought process that they all do, you are excommunicated from the cult and you are not allowed in. They only want like-minded people in there, because if they bring in base people, they know that those games will be more successful. They know that those games are going to be making people happy, and they don't want that, because then they can't push their message. I used to think that sounded ridiculous, by the way. And then I like lived through it and saw it happening in real time. And I'm like, shit, that's what's happening. That is gaming right now.